Yeah, no, I think you're always tinkering with your lineup, but for the most part, it's been primarily the same guys.
Valdez Scantling's playing time has gone down, even though he's gotten healthier and off the injury report the last few weeks.
Yeah, it's just one of those deals where we've moved Devontae back to the X position, and we're always searching for ways to get all those guys out on the field. I don't think it's necessarily anything Marquez has done. I think he's done a nice job. I think especially in practice, his urgency and intensity level has definitely picked up.
Matt, is there a particular area you feel this team could really improve on over the last 4 games? Is there something that sticks out to you as a focus for you?
Yeah, I think really in all 3 phases, there's a lot of room for growth. I think when you look at our offense specifically, trying to do a better job being more efficient on first and second down, staying out of those long third downs. I think third down has been it hasn't been good enough, to be quite frankly. Defensively, we got to do a much better job of just playing disciplined defense and not giving up the big explosive plays. And then obviously with the special teams, just trying to get some sort of a return game going.
How rare in your experience is the kind of health you guys have been having for much of the season, but especially this late in the season? How rare in your experience is that?
Knock on wood, but I've been fortunate to be on the teams that we've had success with. Typically, it's been a similar story. I know in Atlanta we were pretty healthy throughout the entire season in 2016. I think in LA we had the same luck in terms of not dealing with a ton of injuries in 2017. So I've seen it happen before.
What does that do for you guys in the practice setting? Considering that you're not trying to patch things up to get through the work week, you have a full complement in terms of whether it's developing young guys or actually getting your base offense, defense kind of rolling the way you want.
Yeah, I think it gives more opportunity for guys to get the reps and really dig at the details of what we're trying to get accomplished. I think that's when you see another level to whether it's your offense, defense, or special teams, is when the guys really can dig at the details and understand why we're doing everything we're doing.
At this
Say
point,
you've had that kind of luck. How much do you think is luck? I mean, your guys in the strength and conditioning department or athletic training, they do a good job whether you guys have injuries or not, I guess. How much do you think it just comes down to luck in this league when it comes to injuries?
Yeah, I do think it's a big part of it, but I do think I've got confidence that we've got the right people that working with our guys, and I think we've got a mature locker room that knows their bodies and knows how to take care of themselves, because that's a big part of it as well, is just making sure you're doing all the little things the right way, getting the treatments, and I got a lot of confidence in Flea and the athletic training staff, as well as Giz and the strength staff.
at this point, do you expect Ryan Grant to only be kind of an emergency solution, or is there a scenario you can envision where he might be on the 46, even if there aren't injuries, to kind of jump over a healthy guy?
Well, it's a competitive situation each and every week, and if we feel like he's the guy that's going to come in and help us in a way, and then we'll put him up.
Probably asked you a lot more about Zedarius than Preston this year, maybe just because he's a captain, but as he gets set to face his former team, what's the biggest way he's impacted this team on and off the field? Preston, that is.
Yeah, I think he's been a really good leader for us. I think Mike Smith has done a great job with that room, setting a standard. And to the credit of those guys uphold that standard on a daily basis. I think they're all accountable to each other, and just the leadership that he brings, not only to the defense or specifically that outside linebacker room, but I think to the entire football team is something that we're all very appreciative of.
Man, you've only been on the road for a lot here, and been home the last couple of weeks and the last couple of months. I'm not asking you to endorse all of the state brews, but just your first year experience, what have you thought of the experience here at Lambeau?
Yeah, I think it's been great. The fans definitely have a home field advantage here. just like our play, I think there's another level out there that we could get them to. But, you know, we got to give them something to cheer about too. So, but no, it's been great. It's been fantastic. Not only here, but on the road. Our fans are super supportive. I can't think of a better stadium to be able to come to work to each and every day. I mean, I think it's the pinnacle.
Matt, that said, did you come in here wanting to maybe challenge the fans a little bit? I mean, early in the year, we were talking about wanting them to be louder, and there was the foghorn and everything else. Like, did you make that a priority? Because it seems like they have responded to what you said.
Yeah, no, they've done a great job. It's just, you know, I guess not that I had a ton of experience here. I just know from talking to a lot of people and that there was room for more of a home field advantage, if you will. And I think to the credit of our fans, because they are so passionate, all you have to do is go on the road and you can see just the countless number of people that show up to support us in opposing teams' environments. I mean, yeah, but we're really appreciative of everything they do for us, because it does make a significant difference when you come into this stadium and opposing offenses can't hear. It definitely gives our defense a huge advantage.
Matt, going back to the return game, when you watch the tape, have you been able to pinpoint why you haven't been able to get that going? You've gone through a handful of guys back there as returners. Is it not getting blocked up? Is it scheme? What have you been able to pinpoint?
Yeah, I think we gotta block a lot better to get the return going, and then then it's just sometimes you got to make a guy miss as well. So this week will be another opportunity for that.
Yesterday, you were asked a couple questions about identity. When you look back on your games, you won the Dallas game with Aaron running inside zone at time. You probably would have won the Philly game if Devontae doesn't get hurt and you're throwing the ball all over. Kansas City, the running backs catching the ball. So I understand you don't feel like you need to have a specific identity. So how much of your philosophy in terms of game planning is based on finding the weaknesses of an opposing defense or strengths that you have that match up with that, as opposed to maybe game planning individual matchups that you see as an advantage?
Yeah, I think that's what we're trying to figure out each and every week, is trying to, first of all, you got to know yourself. You got to know what you put on tape. You've got to know what your strengths are. You got to know what your weaknesses are. So you have to know yourself first. And then as you dig into the tape, it's, all right, where can I find holes in the defense, and how can we put our players in position to go and attack those? So, but that's the constant challenge on a weekly basis, and not every week's the same. There's going to be different answers dependent upon who we're playing.
So when people talk about identity, though, what does that mean to you? Like, does that mean if all those other things aren't working, we still have this one thing that we know we can always hang our hat on? Or
yeah, I think you have to have certain plays, like in those gotta have it situations, but that you can hang your hat on, that you feel confident that no matter what is presented to you, you can go out there and execute. But more than anything, when I think of an identity, I want to see guys playing as hard as they can, no matter what the play call is. That's what I want us to. That's what I want the opposition to see when they cut on the tape. That, hey, we're going to get these guys. They're going to come at us for 60 minutes, no matter what the scheme is.
Aaron said you challenged guys to accept rules that aren't exactly awesome rules. Is that another coaching philosophy of yours, and how do you think some of those guys have responded to kind of lesser rules that they've been asked to have?
Yeah, I think it's again trying to find your best 11 and really highlight what they do well. And everybody is going to want the ball in their hands at certain times, and but to the credit of the guys in that locker room, I think that they've really embraced the team concept. And that's more than that to me is the most important thing, is how do we win as a team, all three phases. And sometimes you're going to ask guys to do something that they necessarily don't want to do, but I think it speaks volumes of just the character in that locker room for those guys to accept that.
Does that not always happen?
Yeah, I would say for sure, yeah. But like I said, I think these guys care about each other. I think they're fully invested in what we're trying to do here, and, you know, they've put the team first.
Matt, is the number of tight ends you have up on game day related more to special teams or to what you might be doing that week in offense?
I'd say special teams typically takes the priority, but it certainly can have an effect of our what we're doing on offense can have an effect on our roster in terms of whether we keep 3 or 4 up.
Does it still benefit a guy like Sternberger, even if maybe he doesn't get very many snaps on offense, to be up? And I mean, does that still help his offensive game and advancing and what he needs to do?
Yeah, absolutely, because I think, you know, it's going to keep him engaged, because you never know. If you're up on game day, you better be ready, because you don't know when your number's getting called, and all it takes is one play, and now you're the next guy in. So I think absolutely it has a positive effect on him.
The snowman was a jolly happy soul, with a corncob pipe and a button nose, and 2 eyes made out of coal. Frosty the snowman